Test, test, test. Yeah, yes. Hello. Hey, Charlie, bro. How did I make what mimic? Talk about the ping tuber. It's an app called Video Mini. It's on itch.io. I assume that's what you're talking about. If that is not what you're talking about, let me know. Oh, the cartoon. Yeah, it's super easy. It's just an app and it takes the volume of the microphone, and when it senses it's above a certain sound, the character opens his mouth. It just switches to a PNG image of him with his mouth open. And it's a fun little way of representing yourself instead of a webcam. How do I handle you on my game? Are you familiar with the Gamemaker at all? I just use the draw commands to just draw whatever UI I'm looking for. I use 9 slice sprites to stretch the image across the whole box, and then I just populate it usually with draw sprite and draw sprite stretched or draw rectangle or however that works. Everything's just done by hand. I don't have any special libraries or anything. Just did this part of it today, which was the inventory. So when I push the inventory button, um, I can see a representation of what's in my inventory. And then if I click pick up on it, I pick up an item out of that inventory, and then I can chuck it, and then it's gone out of the inventory. If I push down, it puts it back in there. Around picking up lots of stuff. All in my inventory for later. Primarily just data, right? An inventory is just an array of items. And then I use the objects to kind of like give a visual representation, but all the actual navigation through the menus is done with code. How do you change focus of input? Well, it's just a state machine, right? So I have a character here, and his sprite, see when he's bouncing up and down, is idle, so we could take a like an input to walk or to do an attack or to jump. or to pick up and throw. But notice when I push the inventory button, see how he's looking up? That changed his state. So now the controls, um, instead of left and right being moving, left and right now navigate around the menu. It changes the index of the inventory selection. If I push down, see it goes back into his like walk around idle. But as soon as that menu's open, the controls change. So it's all a state machine. There's lots of information about state machines online if you want to do more reading about them. I gotta do some. Let's change that. Down should be 10 probably. So the part of code to do the inventory. Yeah, it's right here. Actually, I was working on it. See if I push left or right, it moves the inventory index left or right. So just think of things in a list. Um, this makes sure it doesn't go above or below the inventory bound, so it doesn't go less than 0, it doesn't go more than the size of the inventory. And then, um, yeah, then the inventory index is just set to whatever spot in the inventory it is. The inventory is defined right here. So here's like all the items that can be stored in the inventory. They're used with constructors and structs. So here's an item. I can get the item by a sprite, by a name, put it in the inventory. I can add an item back into that inventory, find an index, get the length of the inventory. So um, here I defined a global inventory as a new inventory. I populate with an apple, a radish, a stone, and a door. And then moving left and right just moves the selection around these pieces of the inventory. Super easy. Tons and tons of ways to set up an inventory. In fact, on Gamemaker's YouTube channel, they just uploaded a walkthrough on how to do an inventory as well. Um, there's no one way to do it. There's thousands and thousands of ways to code an inventory. Takes a little bit of time, a little bit of setup. You have to be smart about it, but it is not hard. It's pretty easy. I'm not the best coder in the world, and I was able to do it, so I'm cool with it. Better going left and right. Need everything to be polished up really nicely. Design mode. I want to be able to open another inventory. I push the inventory button. It's blank. So let's try doing that now. Structs are a life changer. Yeah, structs are pretty cool. I was okay using maps and lists, but I think structs, just add another layer to it. A little bit of a learning curve, but it was a welcome addition for sure. The cursor. Press. If there's a selection, I do this, or else here. Let's create XY depth +1 OB. Just see what this does. I'm curious. I know I won't be able to control it, but so oh, because it's invisible by default. That's okay. So let's do and then boom. There it is. So I need to be able to change hand into a mode also. Code here. Have here. Darcy, how's it going? Glad to have you back. We're continuing on Story Madness. I think I got a good rhythm for it though, so I'll run with it. Pickup is pressed. Change. Yeah, feeling pretty good about it. It's coming along nicely. I'll show you what we've done in just a second here. Destroy the instance. We'll go back to the cursor. Depth. We'll just create a door. Trying to make it your job. That's good. It's tough. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm really no closer to it than when I started. But for a while, I had quit my day job, and I did this for a year and a half, almost 2 years, just to see if I could. And it was really tough. I had to admit that I kind of didn't have it in me. It didn't really work out. Trying to figure out how to add bullets firing from my enemy's gun. Are you following a tutorial or just kind of going at it alone? Got this inventory now, which looks pretty good, I think. Can shuffle around it. It shows like it's a bag, and toggle around what you want, and then when you select it, you pick it back up. When you throw it out, you can see it exits your inventory. To put it back in, you pick up an item and push down. Sucks it kind of into your inventory. What I wanted was this. If I push it, okay. Oh, I need to make this a child of the cursor. Up by yourself. Cool. Yep, just some clever instance create depth, I think will help you just to put the bullet out there. You could always post it in the Gamemaker Discord. I'm pretty frequent in there. I'll check it out when I get some time. And if you want feedback, I can provide feedback. If you're not part of that community, it's an excellent community. To provide help on the spot too if you ever get stuck. There's like I think 4 help channels, and pretty active users will be able to help you. As long as you're making games, that's all it's about, right? Sweet, look at this. Oh, that's so rad. Okay, so what I need to do is resize. Hope I don't. How hard is it to find it? The GameMaker Discord? It shouldn't be hard at all. Let me see. Okay, actually, how do I? The first thing I found on Google, I'm gonna. I'll put it in chat here. Really good group of people. I frequent there quite a bit. People who are all dedicated to helping you make the best game possible. A lot of fun. I've been in the Gamemaker community for uh, close to like 20 years probably. It's been a really long time. Had a lot of fun. I've made a lot of friends. All right, so I'm drawing this self, and I have. So maybe I'll do image x scale equals. You don't have to share your idea. That's fine. You could ask for specific help if you need help with something. But I think you'll find everyone's kind of working on their own thing. Nobody's really interested in stealing ideas. I don't think I've ever seen a single instance of an idea being stolen in this community because everyone believes in their own idea. Nobody's out there like, oh, all I need is an idea and then I can make my game. Like if people can already make art and if they can already code, like the idea is the easy part. I don't think anyone's out to steal your idea. If you wanted to share, if you don't and you want to keep it to yourself, that's totally fine too. Just in my experience, I don't think anyone's out to get your ideas generally. Mm. 22. Oop, better, but still not quite there. Sting. Let's do our inventory. I'll create it at to me specifically, yeah, I mean I'm in all over. You can search my name. You'll see I've been in there for many, many, many years. If you want to post about game dev stuff, you can put it in there. You can message me on there if you need to. I usually check in once or twice a day. Sure. I guess I can select it now. I don't know if it really gives the impression that it's coming out of the hand, but it's cool that it can like. What do we do? Pickup is pressed. Grab. Not inventory instance. Item instance. Mash Arcade. Yeah, probably is Sam Mash Arcade. Yes, that's right. Depth. Door. Oh, it's. A depth not set. Oh, that's right. Object is that thing. Cursor and grab it. Selection. Object index. I need object to equal something, so like two modes. Great. So cool. Down would make no sense for that to work. Let's take that out. Send what you can, screenshots or otherwise. Curious to see it. I'll check it out when I have some time. Oppressed. Let's So let's try something. Add in kind of brickish. Icon. Okay, so then let's add apple, a door. And then in the inventory cursor, dot get object, I think, maybe, perhaps. Let's find out. Oh, I knew exactly what I thought I could get away with it. You've been making the game in GML since June. Very cool. Welcome to the Gamemaker community. I hope you enjoy it. Spend some time getting to know the Discord. It's some really good people. You'll learn a ton, I promise. I'm not the best person to learn from, I promise you. But I'm a hard worker, and that's probably about it. Oh yeah, look at this. Okay, so I can add a door. Oops. Oh, look at that. I got the icons mixed up. wall icon. Oh, because it changes. Roof. Or yeah, no problem. Good place to learn. That we can build houses now. Do I do all my own artwork? Yeah, I do all my own art and code. I just can't do audio. I can do some sound effects and beeps and boops from stuff I find and stitch together online, but I've got no music or audio talent. But I do all of my art and all of my code on my own. Just like code, just you gotta practice, get better at it. You have to like a lot of people just go in and like, oh, I can't code, or I'll never, or I can't do art. I've never been an artist, that kind of thing. But think about like how when people tell you, oh, I can't do code, I'll never be a coder. It's like, well, you can learn. Like people learn to draw all the time. I just happen to learn it first and code second. Not a great coder, but I can. Like I said before, I'm a hard worker and I don't give up. That's unintended to like pick stuff up this way and drop it wherever I want. It's a nice way to like snap to a grid. I really like that. I'm gonna have to remember this method here. That's neat. Hi, Silith. Uh, yeah, the prefab system was supposed to come out um, mid this year. I don't know if you're so familiar with the Gamemaker roadmap, but I believe it's still supposed to be late this year. I that it will. I doubt it will, but let's take a look. Um, Flex panel, which is UI functions, it says future release, so it's not going to make it in August, November. It might be beta December or January. I think prefabs are over here. Prefabs phase one. It used to say in progress, and then they changed it, so it's probably going to be further out. Um, might not want to hear this, but I would assume prefabs and layers and UI stuff will probably be summer next year if I had to take an educated guess based on what they have in the pipeline, and they got to get through a lot of stuff. Package managers coming out in November, that's fantastic. Audio effects, updated manual, like they have their hands full here with a bunch of stuff. So I think we will get them next year, like summer. Oh yeah, if you type in Gamemaker roadmap, they have a board now. Here's all the future releases. So we just did August. They made an announcement that they're going to be a September, October one, but they're going to wrap everything up in November, and then future releases. Um, I would be skeptical to have a December one, just because it's holiday, and you know how that goes. There'd probably be a January one. But by the time they get back, they're gonna from holiday, they're gonna be swimming in bug reports from like package manager and vertex buffer updates. This is a big release, so I think they're gonna have their hands full. I don't think we'll see any of this stuff probably until March, would be my guess. That's just a guess, but we can reference back and see how close or far away I was. I also might know a little bit more than I'm leading on, but I think objectively that's would be my idea, um, based on what they have and where I see it going. Who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us. Well, here's the thing though, is about the UI stuff and prefabs is um keep in mind prefabs aren't isn't it yes, it's a new asset type technically, but it's all just still GML. There's nothing that they're going to give us access to that we can't do already. So what a prefab is going to be, it's just imagine you have a project made in Gamemaker and I wanted to turn this door into a prefab. I would mark it as a prefab and then save it here in this project and then link a reference to this object from other projects. So it's kind of like linked projects into other projects. It's almost like a package manager type thing. But all of the guts to be able to do the UI stuff is going to be written in GML and these UI elements that GameMaker is going to provide for us. So just because they just released like Move and Collide, right, that platforming script, doesn't mean you couldn't code that in GameMaker before. It just means now they have a function that makes it a lot easier for them to do it. So an example of one of the prefabs that they have are these effects, right? So um, this is an example of a prefab. You'll be able to look at it in the inspector and select a type. Like let's select balloon particles. You'll be able to define these different fields using GML essentially. Um, and that's all it is, but it's still GameMake GML that powers this stuff behind. So if you're waiting for some magic button for the UI to happen, it's just game GML. They're just giving you some shortcuts to like add this stuff in from another project. It's like a super import, right? So prefabs will make it easier for you to share objects between different projects, like mini projects within projects, but it won't enable you to do something that you can't do today. So don't feel like you're limited. Just code the UI that you want. That's all I'm saying. Um, let's make it a little nicer while I'm thinking about it, because trails only. Do the shortcuts with the GUI layers? Oh, I see. Yeah, the GUI layers is separate, actually, but we'll be in there soon. Whoa, look at this. Separate GUI layer with mouse collisions. Well, the mouse collisions you can do already. Um, I don't want to get too far into some of my older projects, but um, yeah, I mean, yes, you can. I have one that's pretty intense with mouse stuff and scrolling and swiping and like a scroll wheel lock and a pan, advanced panning and zooming and stuff. And I don't know if I was too. I don't think I used the GUI layer at all, but I did have a camera and I just subtracted the camera from the mouse's X position. And I don't know. I guess I just did that calculation every time I needed to check it. But ignore this for now. I don't have the patience for that. Like how this was turning out with the inventory, where I could select the door. Mouse. Go into play mode and I can throw the roof and stuff. That's not what I want, clearly. To after I use it, my inventory. So let's delete the mouse position to GUI position, then doing the check and whatnot. Yeah. Um, I'm just careful to. I don't mean to sound like I'm being a pessimist about it. I'm just careful to temper my expectations whenever Gamemaker wants to release something really fantastic and big sounding. Um, I'm looking at use sequences. Sequences are very, very promising in theory, but I don't know, a little underwhelming, I think. Always tends to get in a bit of a unmanageable state after some level of complexity. Yeah. I actually have project, or at least a GIF of one. You can see some of the advanced mouse stuff that I used to do. Like pulling trees up. Documents. Um Sorry, this is boring. Give me a second. I had these like little trees. Where is it? I had these like baby trees that I can move with the mouse. Oh yeah. So look at all this. Like I could pick up things. You could see the cursor, the mouse right here moving. And I was able to like take the burgers and pull them up, and then I can like grab the trees and yank on them. I can move stuff out of my inventory and click on the bag to open it. And I can take the burger and put it in the inventory menu or the ketchup and the mustard. It was pretty intense with the like the layers and the heads up displays and all of that. That was a lot of fun to make those. Oh yeah, look at this. So you can have items pop out of the bag. I had this really cool effect here where you tugged on the trees. Yeah, there it goes. And it would snap and they would break into a couple pieces. That was really satisfying to do. I had a lot of fun doing that stuff. The mouse stuff was crazy easy. I'm not trying to underplay it. It was literally just um, like click events on the characters with the mouse. Like that's all there was to it. You just use the events that Gamemaker provides, then getting so obsessed over like calling everything from the step event. Like it does a lot of the hard work for you. Yeah, the goal was to make it is I'm still kind of doing it, so instead of having a mouse here, um, you have this character. Yeah, functionally it is. It's this big sandbox game. You can see even still like there's a lot of stuff to collect. And then I have like a build mode where I can like pick up stuff and move it. So the goal of this game is just like build your dream cities that you want. And then based on how you build it, NPCs will come. So there's a big sprawling adventure where you go and you collect your resources and build your town. And then people move in and you take care of the people that move in. So it's kind of like Mario Maker meets Animal Crossing. But there's a lot of assets and there's a lot of stuff that'll go into it. I need to get to bed. But before I do, I want to make it so you're in the inventory. Up. Grab the incense, but I need to get so uh, delete at index inventory. It's gone. Oh, thanks. Past Sam. Oh shit, it's out of range. Oh, and then I got to here. So pull out the wall. Yep. Happen. Womp. As expected. I'll fix that tomorrow. So have I messed around with the rollback net code? Yes, I have. And interesting that you bring that up, because um, you know how they did that contest? They did like a rollback netcode game jam. And they held a contest to see who could use rollback to make a game, and if it got enough plays within a certain amount of time, like the top however many got like a cash prize. Do you remember Opera did that when they first like launched it in beta? I actually participated in that contest and I won. So I'm pretty familiar with the rollback netcode stuff. It was crazy easy to implement. Like it was the easiest netcode experience I've ever had in my entire life. I'm super intimidated going into it. And then it was only like 9 or 10 lines of code. And then after that, you just kind of code it like a regular Gamemaker game. Strange enough. You can play my game is still up there. It's called Kingdom Crazy, and it's still using these graphics, oddly enough. Recognize it for sure. Um, Games, my game here. Whoa, sound. I had so much fun making this. Yeah, but it's a like a 2D battle arena. Oh, you got that one. Very cool. Yeah, they did some really nice contests for a while there. The inventory index will change and error out if in inventory. It was extremely fast to set up, and it actually worked really nice for 2 players. Um, I'm in the United States on the West Coast, and then I was playing somebody from Australia pretty regularly, and it was definitely playable, and I had a great time. But when there was 3 or 4 people, it just screamed to a halt, even if they were close or nearby, and I couldn't find the right amount of people to like test in the right places to get a decent 3 or 4 player match. So I kind of left it that they just had some bugs to work out and performance wasn't great at the time. But it shows huge promise. GameMaker unfortunately announced that they're gonna put rollback networking on hiatus for a little bit until they can get some other stuff up and running. They don't want to get too hung up on it, but I think it is a game changer. I think it's worth the investment of time to get in there. Sure, and decor items in play mode. Items placed in. Organize your damn assets. Yeah, GX Games on all browsers. I actually really like GX Games. I think it's a great little portal there. It felt like everything was well curated, and um, they really did a nice job showcasing the games that deserve to be showcased. They did a really nice job with it. I don't have a whole lot of complaints. Not sure if the multiplayer part carried over to the other browsers. Um, yeah, it should have because when I just tested it here on stream, I was on just Chrome. I didn't even use Opera. So I think it should be okay. I got an error because I wasn't logged in, but that was it. I think it should work, which is particularly exciting. Um, okay, so for tomorrow, I have the inventory index will change and error out if the inventory item was deleted. Can we fix this? Furniture and decor items are clunky in play mode, meaning when your guy throws a roof, it looks ridiculous. They're not actually meant to be part of the gameplay. They're meant to be decorations. So can we make them into a capsule or something you can interact with? And when you put them into design mode and place them, it'll be a static thing. Items placed in design mode should be able to be customized with a context sensitive menu. So things like changing colors or variations or changing the actions or turning something on and off like a waterfall speed, I think would be. Organize your damn assets. I got a huge mess here in sort that I need to work at. And fix inventory aesthetics, broken arrows, inventory bags showing up in strange places, etc. So I think that's a good place to start. Just small bite-sized chunks things every day to work on. I will try to do stream an hour a day. I think doable. I don't have a lot of free time. In fact, that's pretty much the entire thing. Right before bed, I get about an hour. So I will continue to do this. If you guys want to join, subscribe so you know when I am live, or just keep your eye on this space. All the likes on the videos help me out, so I know what kind of videos you guys want to watch or streams, that kind of thing. If there's anything that you want me to check out or go over, if there's a game you want me to see, or if there's a subject you want to learn more about, or if there's something that you saw while I was making my game that you want to learn more about, please reach out. I can make a video about it, and we can go from there. Uh, Carsey, yes, instance create depth that creates an instance of an object at a certain point. So if you just create like a bullet, um, should be what you need, right? Yeah, you can do that. A layer is just, um, okay, so what's important about these layers is it's not like the items on these layers have to stay on these layers. It just defines their depth. So everything on the character layer, it's just a fancy way of saying everything with a depth uh, of minus 2000 is called character. So if any of these characters move up or down one depth into the foreground or into the background, it's no longer on the layer. They fall off the layer. But yes, you can because it labels them that way. So instance create layer, and then you could say character. So it'll create it at the depth of minus 2000. So yes, you can easily do that.